everyone, my name's Helen and I'm the Community Manager for preLights. Firstly, I'd like to say thank you to the Society for Scholarly Publishing for organising this meeting and giving me the opportunity to present this poster on behalf of preLights. Today, I'm going to give an overview and share some of the outcomes of the preLights initiative, which is a preprint highlighting platform that the Company of Biologists launched in 2018. So why did the Company of Biologists launch preLights and what are our main objectives? As you all know, preprint posting in the life sciences has seen a rapid and exponential increase over the last 8 years. And this is something that has been further accelerated by the outpouring of COVID-19 related research. But it can be very easy to get lost in the influx of new research. So one of the main aims of launching the preLights platform was to help scientists navigate preprint literature by selecting interesting preprints and providing digests of this work. The other main objective of preLights was to help facilitate public commenting and discussion around preprints. Although we see Twitter being used for informal discussion on new work, this is relatively transient. By raising questions to the authors of new preprints and posting their replies directly on the preLights posts, we can engage authors in discussion of their work separately from the formal peer review process and before it is published in a journal. With these objectives in mind, how does preLights work? At the core of preLights is our community of over 200 prelighters, early career researchers who come from many fields across the life sciences. Prelighters select manuscripts they are interested in from preprint servers, predominantly bioRxiv, and write a news and views type digests of this work. We are not prescriptive about what a preLight post should include, but we do encourage prelighters to include why they have chosen this work, what they like about the new research, and how they feel it moves the field forward. Importantly, all posts have a snappy, tweetable summary of the preprint, and we find that click-throughs from Twitter account for about 40% of our site hits. In the almost 3.5 years since its launch, preLights has amassed close to 1,100 posts highlighting new preprints across all fields of the biological sciences. We've seen that 93% of preprints that are highlighted get published in a journal within 2 years, and over 80% are published within 1 year. Once the preprint is formally published in a journal, we automatically link to the version of record from the site, similar to bioRxiv. Each preLight post also gets its own DOI, and it is also indexed on multiple websites, including Europe PNC. As I mentioned, a key part of preLights is engaging preprint authors. The early career researchers will raise questions about the work, email it to the authors, and if the authors reply, then the answers are posted at the end of the preLight. We've been glad to see that about 60% of posts have an author's response. And we've also had feedback from authors telling us that they've incorporated suggestions in an updated version of their preprint. A few months ago, a group of prelighters, along with Mate Palfi, the previous preLights community manager, began a meta-analysis to look in more detail at the preprints highlighted on preLights. One aspect of this was to look at the author responses to the type of questions that are asked by prelighters. Importantly, we view the nature of the questions asked by prelighters as different from those that are raised during the peer review process. And this is also what we saw from our meta-analysis. Most questions were found to be conceptual or related to the wider context of this new work. We also found that the majority of replies involved the last author, either on their own or in conjunction with the first author. Another aspect of this meta-analysis is to look at the demographics of the authors of preprints that we highlight on preLights. In particular, we're interested in the gender of the authors whose work we highlight and the geographical location of the institutions these preprints are coming from. Further, we aim to investigate if the trends we observe in terms of preLighted preprints are reflected of general trends in terms of preprint posting. We found that the majority of last authors of preprints highlighted on preLights have institutional addresses in either Europe or North America, accounting for 91% of the preprints featured on preLights. Institutions in Asia contribute a further 3.9% of preLights. This observation is also true for preprints generally posted on bioRxiv, where US-based institutions are the most highly represented, followed by the UK and Germany. Importantly, this is not necessarily reflective of peer review publication numbers, and instead reflects a geographical trend in terms of preprint uptake as opposed to research output. Secondly, we observed that male first and or last authors make up the majority of highlighted preprints. Perhaps most importantly, We found that when the last author of a preprint is female, other authors on the preprint are also more likely to be female. Similar disparities in gender representation has previously been observed across all scientific manuscript authorship, including manuscripts submitted to preprint repositories. Our findings are perhaps therefore in line with a persistent trend across science publishing and not attributable to preference for specific preprint authorship in selecting preprints to highlight. This meta-analysis is still in relatively early stages, and we hope to investigate the geographical and gender disparities we find in preprint authorship that are selected for preLights, and how these observations might reflect wider trends in publishing popularity. I'd be very happy to answer any questions you have about the preLights website and community, so please stop by the preLights poster if you'd like to chat. Thanks for your time.